إبراهيم وبارك على سيدنا محمد.
Speaking about Ahlul Bayt tonight a lot, and this morning you've shared with us multiple times the hadith where Prophet ﷺ was sitting with his Sahabi and he asked them, if someone wronged you and then asked forgiveness, what would you do? And majority of them said we would forgive. And then he said, what if they wronged you again and asked forgiveness? And then some more said we would forgive, some didn't. And he kept asking until there's only one person left. It was Imam Ali alayhi salam saying, I would forgive, until Judgment Day, I would forgive them. And I don't remember the next part that came. He said some praiseworthy words about Hazrat Ali alayhi salam. But when you would say this to me, that hadith would always have a big impact where it seems something that's not human to have this type of response. And it reminds me of how you mentioned that Allah SWT sends the rain to the tyrant and to the believer. My question is, how do we put this into our life where it seems so far away from us?
It's not far away, it's so easy. When you understand and when you look at the things that's in front of you, you understand that you're doing it almost every day. Marriage is half of your religion. There's oceans of meaning in that. We've spoken about how, especially in the past, tariqat is not even so obligation for women. If Shariat is not so much of an obligation for them, and tariqat even more. One of the reasons is that whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in them, in their lifestyle, in their nature, that raises their spirituality already, naturally. The rahmat of Allah is on them. They don't have to do anything extra. Awliya Allah has saying, when women go through the pangs of childbirth, all of them reach to the level of sainthood at that time. All the sins pass and they become masoom. That if they pass, they go straight to paradise, yes? If they don't, they're better than Ghazis. That the rewards they achieve, they get, not from prayers, not from recitation, not from learning, not even from understanding, but from service. To give one glass of water to the husband when he comes back home from work, the reward is equal to go to the Hajj and to come back and the Hajj to be accepted. So easy. So in the service as a mother, as a wife, if they are to do it properly, it's very easy. Very easy for them to go up. But it is also very easy for them to fall. For man to be able to achieve the level of understanding what it is to have a life inside of them, to go through that pain, while that life is in them, while that life is coming out, and while that life is living until they pass, to have a connection to that, and for all that pain to convert to love, for the men, we don't have that connection. It's very difficult. Women, they have it just like that, without them even understanding. There is a bond that is there. Physically, there is a bond already that is there. But for men, very difficult for them to make progress. Tariqat is needed for them to understand what it means to serve, to live to serve. Because it is, as Shaykh Maulana says, the hearts of men, they're very hard, like stones. And as the man lives, if responsibility is not given to them, they only live for themselves, to please themselves, until he dies. Women, even if they want to, they cannot, because what Allah has given to them, it starts pulling to say, listen, it's not as you like. Listen, it's not as you feel. What Allah has created will take over them. Their thinking, their feeling, everything. Then easier for them to submit. Men, it's different. They have children. Of course, the man's love for the children is there, but it's different from the bond that the woman has. Since you are asking me from the position of a man, let me speak. Position of a woman is so easy. You're asking me, this is so difficult to someone to wrong you and then to forgive them. I say every day is happening to the lives of women. Pain that is visited to them, they forgive. Pain, it becomes a love. Even when their children are going to go against them, there is still that unbreakable bond and the love that is there. They just cannot go against that nature. Do you understand? And men, when you have your children too, because the power is now given to you, you know that if you overstep it, you know by yourself how much of a tyrant you are. There's even a saying now in the Turkish way that you see the fathers now behaving even more softer to the girls than this to the boys. Especially in the Ottoman Turkish way, they want the boys not to be boys, to be men. There's also the difference. Because the mother says, I'm always my mother, you're always my children, no matter how old you are. But the father says, no, you are my daughter, yes, but you are my son who's going to grow up to be a man like me to take care of the whole family. So enjoy it while you can. You have to reach to the level of manhood. Because when responsibility is given, that is when honor is given to you. Otherwise, if you don't have responsibility, no matter how powerful, no matter how much you have no honor. No honor. And the level of honor is how difficult that responsibility is, not how easy it is. So you see, as a parent, no matter how much your children now are going to go against you, and by extension also, how much your family, your wife, your relatives were to go against you, you will still find it in your heart to forgive, no? Yes or no? Nuh alayhi salam, he was preaching to his nation for hundreds of years to come to Allah and saying the flood is going to come. Hundreds of years. And every day he is saying to them, they will gang up against him, and not only slanders here, they will beat him up to death. He will come around, come away from that, heal, go back again to speak, to deliver the message, because it's a divine order. They'll beat him up again. He'll go back, he'll go back. Hundreds of years. He'll live for over 900 years. So just that alone we see. You're going in the way of Allah, somebody says something, someone else, and you're going to get so upset. You're going to run away, you're going to weaken. And his sons, one of his sons, he was not from the believers. He was one of those who were beating him up. Yes or no? It was his son that he was calling out to when he was in the ship that he built, that the flood was there, and people were running, and he says to his son, the azab of Allah is here, oh my son, come back. And Allah then warned him and saying, if you call out to your son one more time, I will strip away servanthood from you. This is what we learn from our shaykh. And that is a lesson for us. As our shaykh and our grand shaykh saying, Allah saying to him, he is your son, but he is also our creature. Meaning, don't give him special attention. All your ummat is like your children. You understand? No special. Those who believe, even if they're not from your blood, they're closer to you. Those who don't believe, even if they're from their blood, they're very far away from you. It is not the physical blood, it is a spirit now. Meaning that even after hundreds of years of oppression by the people who oppose him, and his son being one of them, at the time when you see suffering is going to come, punishment is going to come, did he remember the suffering? He forgave. You have to forgive to say come. So it is in us. Holy Prophet ﷺ, he went to his family, he went to his uncles, who is an open enemy to him, wanted to completely destroy him, but did he give up? Did he become an enemy to his uncle? He went back over and over and over again. And the very famous story now in the Masnawi about how he went back to his uncle tried to trap him and to punish him, and his uncle got punished. And he says, come, take my hand. And still they refuse. So what is it that is refusing? It is not the blood of the prophets now. It is the pull of shaitan and the ego that is refusing. The physical blood doesn't mean too much. Because so many sons of prophets, children of the prophets from Hazrat Adam alayhi salam continuing, they rejected. So many relatives of the prophets they rejected. So many wives of the prophets they reject. And so many who are strangers, gharib, they hear the call of Nuh alayhi salam. They board the ship. They hear the call of Ibrahim alayhi salam. We are still coming to the Hajj every year until Judgment Day, inshallah, because of the call of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. That Allah said to him, now go call after he's built the Kaaba. Go call azan and call for humanity to come. Call those who are from your house. And so we are the Ummat, the millat of Ibrahim alayhi salam, all of us. From your house, call to come to visit my house. And it's not for nothing that during the Holy Prophet ﷺ's time, he rebuilt the house. There was a flood, wasn't there? Yes, everyone was rebuilding, everyone's putting, but the most important thing that is in the Kaaba is what? What is it? Hajar Aswad. And they were all fighting to have the honor, because that honor of the person who placed Hajar Aswad back, they were in Jahiliyyah at that time, but they understood these things. That one will have the honor until Judgment Day. And they asked him, and he said, bring a sheet of cloth, Hajar Aswad in the middle, every tribe leader will hold the end of the cloth, will bring the Hajar Aswad there. It didn't stop there. He took the Hajar Aswad in his own hands and he placed it there. He rebuilt the Kaaba. We do that as fathers. We forgive our children. We do that as friends. We forgive our friends. We do that as relatives. It's okay. What can you do? His crazy cousin, crazy uncle. But in these days, of course, those ties are all broken. And it's very difficult to forgive, because everyone is independent and say, I don't need this person. I don't need this one. I don't need my father. I don't need my mother to find myself. I don't need my cousin. I don't need anyone. Because the whole world is saying, I'm free. I'm alone. I'm free to do whatever I want. We live in a time when we are more connected and more in need of everything around us than ever before. That if one thing fails, we're going to go crazy. If this electricity fails, we're going to go crazy. If you cannot pay with your credit, everything is going to be crazy. If the bridges are not working in the city and trash cannot go out and food cannot come in, you will go nuts. We are more in chains right now in so many ways. With all our wealth. What do you need to do? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created everyone equal. Some are more equal than others. The prophets or the other beloved ones. But the way to reach that also We are all nominees for that. It's not as if Allah has created others who are more equal and He says, you will never become that. No, they say, in fact, the doors are wide. Come, this is the way. Come to this circle. And those ways to tread the footpaths of the prophets and the Ahlul Bayt, they are called tariqats. Because without this understanding, you can never do it. Without this proper understanding and the wisdom of what forgiveness means and what it tastes like, you will never do it. You'll never be able to do it. So it's not an exclusive club. Yes, it is an exclusive club in the sense it's very special, but they're saying everyone is nominee. You're all welcome to come. But leave your ego behind. Come. Even if you've broken your promises 1,000 times, come. Do not be in despair. Come. So what is causing man now not to go, not to receive that, is ego, nothing else. That Shaykh Effendi had said so many times, the man who is driving his car for 40 years down the same road, he cannot fall asleep on the 40th year and say, well, I've driven this road with this car for 40 years, let me sleep for a while, let the car to drive to my destination. He falls asleep even if he has driven the same car, same road, 40 years, he falls asleep, split second, he will crash and burn everything. Same with our ego. For the man who is not concentrating to see where is my ego reaching today, it's reaching here, I must protect. Where is shaitan attacking today? I have to protect that. Where is the weakness coming? I have to fix. Fixing it. You understand? This is war. Not only a fortress that you have to protect now. Now you have to go out and you have to fight to protect others. How awake you must be. A time for singing and dancing is over. Shaykh Effendi said that long time ago in the basement of 39th Street. Now is the time to fight. And fighting, struggle, the spiritual struggle, Jihadul Akbar against your ego, this is our way. Our way is not to study kalam. Our way is not to study fiqh. Our way is not to load up with ilm. Or our way is not to be drowning in art or in jazba. Our way is to struggle. Everything else, secondary. Yes, it may be there. Yes, you may be called to study a little bit this. You may be called to do this a little bit. Everything now is to support this struggle. It's not the end by itself. But if you look at yourself every day, and then you practice that. Because you may not now be so forgiving to your wives or to your husbands, or you're forgiving to your kids. You're not forgiving to your kids, you're very forgiving to yourself. Now you understand how mercy is taken away from this world, the Akhir Zaman, because people don't even know how to forgive themselves. They've lost all hope like shaitan. And they enter into that severe shaitanic state of depression that they can never get out of, thinking it is something that is chemical. No. Not only are you not only chemical, you are everything else, the whole world. And everything in existence is in you. And you are everything in existence. As Maulana is saying, you are not a drop from the ocean, you are the ocean. What is the ocean? It's not this. The ocean is our spirit, and it's to awaken that spirit. It is that spirit that Shaykh Maulana says, when I make you a murid, the light that will shine from you is going to blind 1,000 suns. Even on the day of judgment, it will blind people like the sun. So people practice this at some place, at some time. What does it depend on? What causes the man to forgive? What causes a man to forgive? Your children, or other people, or Ahlul Bayt to forgive. What is the motivating force there? What is it? You say something divine, it's not something human. Of course, but our spirit is not human. Our spirit is coming from the divine. It's not divine, it's coming from the divine. In a way that is very completely different from everything else that Allah has created. But what is that motivating force there? What causes a man to forgive? What is mercy? What is rahmat? Let me give you an example of what rahmat is. When Nuh alayhi salam his ship landed, dry piece of land, after 40 days and 40 nights of the rain of Azab that was burning and drowning everything. And why did that happen to his nation? Why it happened to his nation? What? Ta'un? Because the Prophet opened his hand and asked punishment to descend on his people. He asked Allah for his nation to be punished. That's why it happened. Kufur, gunah, everything wrong, it's always there. But there is a hand that is there to protect, and there's a hand that is removing that protection for it to fall. You understand? Because that Prophet asked for his nation to be punished. And you'll see this pattern repeating over and over. And so many prophets are asking, enough already, Ya Rabbi. They cannot listen. Maybe they'll listen when you send the azab on them. And so many nations are punished because of that. Yes or no? Because their prophets open their hands and pray. It is through their hands and their prayer that Allah is granting. Understand now the power of dua from the holy ones. When they left the ship, the ark, when they cooked the ashura, when they put the kul, how you say? Surma on their eyes, so many sunnats of ashura. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then said to Nuh alayhi salam, say, Ya Nuh, I want you to build 40 jars for me. And Nuh alayhi salam was feeling so happy that Allah is asking him to make 40 jars for Allah. And he made this, the most beautiful jars, 40 of them. When he was ready, presenting it to his Lord, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, now take that stick and destroy every one of them. And Nuh alayhi salam was shocked. This is an order, of course he will do. But he had spent so much love on making these jars for Allah's sake. And Allah says, destroy them. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Ya Nuh. He says, you feel hurt, you feel sad, your heart is broken because I tell you to destroy these 40 jars from clay that you have made. You think, now get this properly, I don't mean it literally, for all those ones who are quick and happy to make fatwa against us because we're so famous, Yani. He said, you feel like that about jars? Do you think I would destroy your nation, mankind, so easily after I have created them with love? Because everything Allah has created is, yes, is with that Rahman, with that Rahim, with His love. Mercy is love. And what is that love? Love is wanting the best for that one. Everything the best. Everything you ask, I give you. That is the best. That is what love is. For that one, not for you. For that one, to serve that one. So when you don't have love, you have nothing. Allah is saying, you think it was so easy for me to destroy everything? Because you open your hands, I destroyed. And awliyas are saying, because of that, Nuh alayhi salam then started wailing and crying. Oh, he was crying that his name changed to Nuh because of that. I was thinking about this riwayat, very heavy today. Forgiveness, even for those who betray. We are not the judge, Allah is the judge. What is our role? Those ones who betrayed. What is the role of the Ahlul Bayt? You know the answer to that. Even Hazrat Fatima, Shah Effendi is saying, Shah Maulana is saying, on the day of judgment, Hazrat Fatima is going to come with a cup filled with the blood of his son, presenting it to the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet will say to his beloved daughter, Ya Fatima, today is the day of what? Huh? Shafat. Today is not the day of revenge. I was not thinking of that riwayat, I'm thinking of this other one. It's connected. When did Hazrat Musa, when was Nubuwat conferred on him? Not because he studied so much, he prayed so much, he did so much. It's not. When was that? The riwayat that is coming down from us, to us, from our sheikhs, is that when he was a shepherd for Hazrat Shu'aib, and one sheep got lost. Not lost, left. You understand? Leaving. What did he do? He went after it. Running everywhere, over rocks, over water, so much hardship and so much pain. And when he found it, he took it and he clutched it. And he says, oh, my beloved one, why did you run away? What happened? Did I not treat you well? Did you hurt yourself? Not caring. That is inside of us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving to this ummah, yes, you can do this, this and this. Someone does something to you, you can do this, this and this. Yes? Qisas is there. Yes? But, always, but, what did Allah say? Only if you forgive, it is better. Only if you know it. Only if you understand it. Only if you get it. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not saying, he did this, you have to do that. And on top of that, he's saying, you can do this, but I'll leave it up to you. Now you're going to see where your level of spirituality is. It's not saying now the scorpion is going to do something to you, he's going to bite you, you're going to take the scorpion and hold it against you. No, it's not that. But to understand that now, the scorpion is just one part of this one. And I know now to put this away, I know now this to bring it close or bring it far. And if power is put in my hands on Judgment Day, to seek revenge or to forgive. Yes, and majority who are not understanding themselves and their spirit and their ego in this world, they will fight on Judgment Day. Even for a glass of water that this person got from you, that he didn't say thank you to, you will fight for their haqq. And that's the level of animals. But those in the level of saints and prophets, no. They're not going to fight. Because they did not fight here in this world. They're going to say, I forgive, it is known to you. May their share not reach to me, but I forgive because for your sake, Ya Rabbi. Everything that I've done wrong to them, anyone, turn their hearts so that they forgive us. Everything that they have done to us personally, we forgive. Anything that touches the rights of other people, the rights of religion, it is not for us to forgive. Do you understand? This is the point. It is not our right. Somebody steals your neighbor's house, and then you say, no, it's okay, we forgive you. Wait, what are you doing? It's not your house. It's not yours to say forgive. Touches you, it's not yours to say, no, have patience. Your neighbor is suffering, your neighbor is dying, your neighbor is in pain, and you say, you know what? Be patient. You, the enemy, no, it's okay. We forgive you. This is what majority of people are doing right now. Let it happen to you, and then you say, I forgive. And then you say, I'm going to be patient. That time I will listen to you. That time I'll kiss your hand. You understand? So, we have to be careful. Now, this is when you are dividing things. You know what is what. You're not being lazy and sloppy about things. Everything has to be according to its own level. Inshallah. May Allah forgive me and bless you. Raise the station, Sahibul Saif. Wa min Allahu tawfiq al-Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum. Things that you're really hurt by. Someone does something. Today you're so upset, tomorrow you may not be. Let's say, yes, tomorrow you're still upset. Some people keep this hurt for years and years, right? But when you have a toothache, just a toothache, that pain of the toothache will overtake everything. You'll forget about what anyone has done to you. Let me tell you that. Meaning, when a pain or a pleasure comes to you, you'll forget it. Remember death often. And say to yourself in this moment, if I were to die right now, would this be really important to me? And then you can balance it. You can say, okay, but I must show some toughness, I must show some anger. It's just a show. Inside your heart, it's not. You become more just in that time. The anger or everything else is not to overtake you. Same thing. Look, this too shall pass. Those words is not only to look at bad things that happen to you and you see it and you say this too. No, it's also when you are having pleasure. To understand this too shall pass. Then that time understand, understand, death is there, the reality of our death and of judgment day. Then you become more responsible. More responsible in pleasure, more responsible in pain. You're not going to get drunk. We're going to pass. May Allah make our passing easy, inshallah. To be always under the feet of our Shaykh. Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum. Give the ashura, give the tea, inshallah. Bismillah. Recite Fatiha and take some. Bismillah.